Take this all in one take, Doc.
Do it.
How you doing?
I'm good. What have you been up to, huh?
We've been at VidSummit this week.
Uh-huh. How many hours you been sleeping?
None.
Yeah.
I went home last night at, 3 a.m.? Something like that. But the after party was a lot of fun. And these kind of events, you definitely need to have that kind of socialization and relaxation after a long week.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. What's the latest you stayed out? Was it 3 last night?
I think it was last night. I did stay out the first night actually pretty late because, at events like this, it's really crazy that the pre-actual events, there's always something going on.
Yeah,
At Podcast Movement, the first one I went to, there was actually a pre-party, and I got more networking out of that night than I did the rest of the week. And then I feel like it was very similar this week as well.
Yeah, and then a lot of people were leaving Thursday. I would message them. They're like, "Oh, I'm at another conference," or I've just
AI Marketing World?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was good. It was a good time.
So today's episode, Brand Doctors, live in person. We just got done with VidSummit. We wanted to get this actually recorded the other day at the conference. That would have been kind of cool. But honestly, having it post, I think is actually kind of even better because we can have the full experience talking to each other, what we learned, who we talked to, the people that we got most excited to see, etc.
Yeah, so what do you want to hit up first? For most excited moments, what do you want to do?
I think that the people that we met the most, I think is really cool. Like the first or second day, I was in the lobby and I'm sitting down talking to someone and Chris Doe walks in with Drigo and they're checking in. I'm like, hey, I don't want to interrupt your check-in. I'm a big fan. I love this. And it's funny because recently I interviewed Amanda Silver on my PolyTools Creator Spotlight, and I found her because she did a quick in-person interview with Chris Doe at a conference like this. And so it's this kind of small world where it's like, okay, cool, I met her and I was able to talk to him too, just quickly.
I love that. Yeah, yeah. So didn't you take pictures with him last night too?
Last night and actually this morning in the breakfast area, he came down and shoot the shit with us, with me and another brand partner, Dan Keefe, and a couple other cool peoples, Romina and all of them, and Metal. And it's funny because at a conference like this, you see someone like a big creator like that, and you almost feel like they're out of reach. And even he was saying today, he had the same starstruck experience with somebody else, I think in the wrestling world or jiu-jitsu world. And he was sharing the anecdote of him, he sat down at a sushi restaurant right next to one of his heroes. And he was like, I don't want to fangirl too much on him. So he didn't say anything. And then 8 months later, he happens to go back, it was in Santa Monica, to the sushi restaurant. And once again, he's sitting next to that same hero. And so he finally was like, yeah, I'm going to say something. Hey, I'm a huge fan. And they ended up taking it. Thank you.
What's going on here?
There's a bug.
Okay.
There was and he got to say hi. And then that was the same deal with a couple other people this week. There was Beauty and Brains with a Twist, Rachel. She's a big TikToker. I found her a while back. Very polymathic, very much aligned for the Polymath podcast. And I wanted to talk to her. And her family were here. And I was able to nerd out with her dad. He's a big tools nerd too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think, and the thing is for this one, I've been to VidCon. I've been to VidSummit. This one, everyone's a little bit more chill here, I feel like. VidCon is a little bit more fanboy and everything like that. But everyone's about business and anyone can learn from anyone. So I think it's great. I like that it's 4 levels and then you can be so many different places with VidSummit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't just, if it's a 1-level conference, I feel like it's really either claustrophobic or it's just too much going on. I think so many people can be on different levels. You can chill, all those different areas. It was great. It was a great time.
Because of those levels too, it's interesting that some people will be more stationary and then people like me are just ping-ponging back and forth.
Yeah.
Yesterday I went up and down from the first floor to 4th floor 12 times within a few hours.
What was your step count?
I don't have a tracker.
Oh.
Dude, I know. And I was telling him I got bit by spiders. My ankle's swollen up and I was walking on that all week too.
Disgusting. Why do you keep showing? You keep looking at it. First of all, and then your knee. I
scraped up my knee. My back hurts. I think that sling was a little too heavy, even though I switched sides.
I saw it.
Yeah.
That was too much. No, I thought it was good. Met a lot of people. I think what I like about this is, as long as you're not going too extreme, people will give you the time. Yeah. And as long as you're respectful and just wait in line, or you say, I think most of them, it's not a huge. I've only seen TwitchCon. It's not like that. And so I really feel like this. Yeah, exactly. That's what you would have done.
Yeah, probably.
So I think this one was
Celebrity Crush.
That's the problem. And I saw that you saw Code Miko, which I love her.
Yeah, she's amazing, and she's
Yeah.
really sweet, and her manager's really cool too.
Yeah.
He's actually trying to be a YouTuber as well.
That's awesome.
And I was actually talking to him more than her even and whatnot. I took a picture with her though too, and it was just interesting because she was at the after party last night, and a couple other people too. Even Matt Wolf.
Yeah.
He's really down to earth too, which is really nice. And he was actually talking with me and another brand partner from Opus and on the porch of the after party. And so we just kind of were all. He's a big Battlestar Galactica fan, I guess, and just we were talking about superhero shows and big comic book nerd. And so it was just funny, like being able to have those. Not funny. It was fun to have those personal moments with people that you look up to in the creator world. I saw him blow up. I was on FutureTools.io so early. I think you were too.
Yeah, man.
And it was one of the best
tool
sites.
That's really, and I love to see the pivot because you might have known this. Back in the day, I was on his podcast years ago before he made the pivot into AI because he was really big into affiliate marketing and all of those things. So he had another partner on his podcast. So before he made the shift, before he went into tools and everything like that, he's a cool dude. I'm glad so many things. And I'd just like to say, that's an example. Some people are like, oh, he's popped off. I'm like, yes, he did. But he put in the work for 12, 14 years before what you see right here. So when people think about the polish and how do they come across, like, hats off because he's been doing this a long time.
Yeah, and he puts in a lot of effort too. He was talking to me about like the cadence at one point, how he went down. We were nerding out about knowledge management tools, so we were talking about Obsidian, and like he's using Reflect now, which is pretty cool. Never got around to playing with Reflect as much because of the pricing and like the online only kind of aspect. But I hear really good things about it, and if he's really liking it, that's kind of good to know. But it's interesting to think about with all these different creators that I don't think that with people like us who've been in the space for so long, the panels, we're not going to learn as much.
Yeah.
I honestly went to some panels because I was obligated to with the people who were speaking. Like Nick Dimon, I'm definitely going to go support my friend. And then Opus Clip panel, they shipped me out here. I'm definitely going to be like, oh, shout out to Opus Clip. Thank you so much for sending me out to VidSummit. I love it.
15 minutes in.
15 minutes
15 minutes in.
It's more natural that way. Also, too, like I stopped for them hard at the conference. And I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have been that, like, I wasn't shilly about it. I only ever did it whenever it was actually like a reason to tell people too, or they'd be like, "Oh, who are you here with?" or something like that. But legitimately, so many of these creators would actually be able to benefit from it too.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. No, I think great brands, great people to talk to, and I went to a couple. I only went to one talk, honestly. I went to one talk. It was fun. So it was George who does like script writing and things like that. George Blackwell.
Okay.
So he did really good with all of those things. So I think the biggest thing is if you come out here, just get out here and network, and not even just network of like, hey, nice to meet you. Let like serendipity just happen, because I'm not sure if I told you this. First night we were at the bar, there was this one guy that does stuff with like OTT, over the top, and stuff like that. And his name was John.
People? No.
But say it was
Gizmot?
I don't know.
Because there was. Did you ever go to that booth?
It was different.
Okay.
Because I met them. You told me. I went over and talked to them. There was these two guys, and I was talking about they help creators, and usually like kids shows get on like Roku and everything. And I said I did that a lot on YouTube with how to create your own Netflix and things like that. I was like, the main problem that I have is when people ask me how do they buy shows, and I was like, I don't know anything about that. Yeah. He used to work at Tubi. And he's like, oh, you go to this conference. There were people here too. I didn't even know. Yeah, they were. And I missed I was trying to find them, couldn't find them. And he's like, yeah, you go to this, and this conference. Now, this is something that I've been talking about for 5 years. I've never even been able to find anything like that. And it's just one of those things where you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
And they just have this knowledge. Some things it's very hard to find on Google or anything. And there's these specialties here that you just randomly walk into. So it was fun.
My own specialty, like I try not to be too egotistical when I'm talking to people. I can't speak, so sorry if my voice is gone, folks. I sang some karaoke and talked to 1,000 people. I'm gone. But there's a lot of people who wanted to become creators or get better at creating. And since I've been doing it for so long, it's like I can either coach you or just at least just soundboard with you what you're planning on doing. And it's one of those things where like, yeah, I don't have a huge audience as of yet, but I've been doing it for so long that the strategy and the actual mindset behind it and all the different things you need to know and do, I just love that. I love nerding out about it. It's why you and I have these conversations too, because we both just are huge nerds for content.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. I think, and that was a good thing. So there was a lot of people that were just getting started, or they've been doing it for a couple years but not serious.
Yeah.
And now they were taking it serious when they come here.
Kind of jumpstart stuff.
Yeah. And Daryl's course, I like it a lot. It gives a good foundation. But I told him, similar to like Sponsor Magnet book, I'm like, if you just get the YouTube formula, a lot of it helps you with the foundation. I think what Channel Jumpstart helps with is if you're by yourself and you don't have people that are other creators, this gives you the right environment, and it gives you accountability. And I think that's like the secret sauce of it.
Speaking of like being around other creators, last night at the after party, it's always interesting how this always happens at the last after party. But a friend of mine and I were having a heart to heart with this one dude, and Xander, thank you. He essentially was talking to us and expressing, like, we were expressing a lot of emotions, and it was really interesting. Especially my friend, she had never been to a conference like this, and the fact that we are around peers is such an amazing thing. That, like, when I went to podcast movement for the first time a couple years ago, like this, I felt even more powerful of that. Like that same feeling was even more exposed. But at podcast movement, it was the first time I was ever around peers in real life, right? And I had never been around other content creators like at that level. Like maybe some like Instagrammer in my city, but that's about it. And so being around people who are podcasters on now YouTube, I just think that's really interesting. Like the feeling you get, the people who understand, even if they don't like have done it for that long, they know the trials. Like you're stuck in your room looking at a camera by yourself, and your family's not going to understand. Your people around you aren't going to understand. They don't know all the effort you're putting into it. Also, I didn't know you had the VIP badge.
Yeah, I didn't know that until last night.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you have the VIP pass. I was like, you know how many other things I could have been going to?
Yeah. Although I actually think that I made the better choice. There was that VIP party with all the buses.
Yeah.
And I heard about that before going in. I heard there was going to be like private events you have to pay to get in, or private events you have to know somebody, probably more so in that case, to get in. And that is true, but they were pretty lax on it this year. I think next year they might be probably a little bit more intense. I don't know. It seemed like a lot of people were like, yeah, we just went on the bus, signed a waiver or whatever. But I should probably say that out loud. I don't know.
Cut it.
You know, I don't do editing.
No, this is going to stop.
It's funny though, because like, they went to Meow Wolf, that maze and like fun place. I think it was really cool. But instead, I went to that Repurposed.io meetup and got to see some really cool people, see Hanny, see Sean, and Marissa, and all the cool people from Repurposed. But then there was a whole bunch of other creators who were in that space. And then afterwards, we went to a TikTok meetup, and I got to see a really cool doctor TikToker that I had seen for a long time. And then I went to karaoke, of course. And it was just one of those things where I think that night was a lot more effective for networking and fun than I would have had at the other place, even though the other place was really good.
And even to your TikTok thing, maybe we haven't even talked about this. One of the guys, he was in charge of sports, like regionally, for TikTok for the United States, for the North America branch. And so just some of the insights, and he was like, yeah, a lot of people don't know the 5 ways you can monetize on TikTok. I had no interest on being on TikTok until talking to him.
Really?
And then I was like, oh, this could be a thing. This could be a thing.
I think your content would actually do better on that than shorts.
It's crazy, yeah. And he was talking about basically the inventory. He's like, now people are spending so much time in the ecosystem of TikTok, they're looking for how-to videos like they do on YouTube. And that wasn't always the case. So he was talking about now their inventory is lacking in that content. Yeah. Which is really interesting. So yeah, a lot to think about.
My buddies Dan Keefe and Greg Priest talk about a lot of AI and tools a lot, and I think a lot of, especially Dan, like they had a lot of like TikTok following from that kind of stuff. And it's interesting as well when it comes to like the Repurposed.io events. Like I always talk about syndication. If you're gonna make the short, you might as well syndicate it across platforms. Shout out to Repurposed.io. I use Nuelink, and either tool. I care about what fits best for you. Right? If I say this tool is the best, that's because it's my opinion. But if you find a tool that's really good and it works for your workflow, that's what matters.
Yeah. No, you're right. I was also going to say, too, I did a small meetup, but it was funny. I was like, oh, man, sad no one might not be there. But there were so many people that showed up, and everyone was like, are you at this event or this? It all kind of just worked out because everyone was on the patio anyway. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, this is great. Low pressure, everything. So we did a vibe coding 101, talking to a finance guy. It was fun. So
I should have set up a meetup because last year at the podcasting conference, I tried to do a tools, like what tools are you using?
Yeah.
And I think it actually turned out pretty well. How are we doing on time?
We've got 3 minutes.
Okay. So, this is our last day. We're about to fly out. I think that meeting so many people. These conferences are all about networking. We talked about the panels. A lot of newer creators, even middle creators, have benefited a lot from the panels. I get that, and I definitely think they're worth your time, especially considering the caliber of the people speaking at this conference. Like Roberto Blake was like firing on all cylinders. The Westin is where it's at. If you ever go to VidSummit, hang out at the lobby, especially on the pre-nights, because that's where everyone's coming in. You get to see a lot of cool creators. I got to meet someone from Linus Tech Tips' channel, James Schreeb, and it's funny because I even like admire him as a creator because he's a host on some of the shows. And throughout the conference, we got to like talk a little bit more and more and connect. And it's just amazing how these networking and seeing people for the first time in real life.
Yeah, no, all good stuff.
Anything else to add?
No, I would say I got to look at my notes, but overall, I haven't been here in 2 years. It was a different vibe, but it was great to see new people and returning people. So it's helped me with my goals, and I know we'll be talking about that in the next upcoming episodes when we get back.
Yes.
Awesome, man.
Pleasure.
Great to see you.
Thanks, guys.